Okay, Unrivaled has gotten through to the semifinals in the 1v1 competition. And if you aren't watching it and you like basketball and not just a certain team, now's the time to start because it is getting good. They have whittled down to the best players. We have the final four, and Rhyne Howard has a bit of a crash out on Twitter afterwards. There were so many matches, so I'm not really going to talk about all of them, but it did start out with Aaliyah Edwards and Aaliyah Copper, and I actually posted my predictions on Twitter, and out of I think the first 5 matches, that's the only ones I saw that were the options to choose from, I got 4 of them right. And I did have Aaliyah Edwards taking this, and she did. But Aaliyah Copper definitely put up quite a fight. Nobody completely dominated. I think that this was one of the cases of you make it, you take it that I don't like about, and I know that this is how it's played, like on street court, but the reason I don't like it is because I feel like there are a lot of mismatches here, and Unrivaled doesn't do anything completely by any certain one rule or book, so I like to see a little bit more like diversity in playing. And I feel like a lot of the you make it, you take it is you definitely have to be good on defense and you can't really exhibit your offense sometimes. So I don't know. I might change my mind. However, what I will not change my mind on is the foul rules in Unrivaled, which are so weird. And it's almost like it's a cheat code. If you're about to get smoked, you can just foul a player, and if they're not in the act of shooting, they have to go. They get punished, and they have to go back out with the remainder of whatever's left on time. So sometimes there's like 1 second left. So if they're about to make a basket, your defender fouls you, and then you have to go back out to the line and make the basket within 1 second. So I really don't like that rule because after Skylar Diggins-Smith kind of like revealed that as like her tactic, a lot of people did. And really, it just felt like it slowed the game down, and it felt like the players that were getting smoked were just like using that as, a Hail Mary. Anyway, the second match was Jewel Lloyd versus Ray Burrell, and Ray Burrell took that. The way that Jewel's been playing in Unrivaled, I just don't think that this is her format, and this is totally Ray's format. She is very well suited to 3v3 and has experience in it. And I think that a lot of youth in this league really does help, especially with the 1v1s, because they are so tiring. I mean, these players were gassed, like all of them, like especially Satou Sabally, who did get to the semifinals and did get smoked by Arike. But I mean, the end of that game, oh my gosh, that was tough to watch. They were both just like, they were puttering about the court. Azure Stevens played Shakira Austin, and I know that Shakira Austin got a lot of hype last night for, coming away with the upset, but I did not see Shakira beating Azure because Azure has the same, they're like very similar heights, very similar wingspans, but Azure has more experience, and that is what won their match. And then we have Nepheesa Collier and Arike. I had Nepheesa taking this, but I thought Arike was going to give her a big fight. And you know what? She put up a pretty good fight, but honestly, I mean, Arike compared to Nepheesa Collier is not even comparable. And Nepheesa took that one home. She is also in the final 4. So not only did she beat Arike, she went on and wait, I'm not going to tell you yet because there's another match I want to tell you before, which is Courtney Williams versus Rhyne Howard. This is the one I lost because I thought Rhyne Howard would take this. I did think it would be close, and I was wondering, but I did. I cannot tell a lie. I had Rhyne Howard taking this one, and this match was crazy. It was physical. It was so much. Courtney Williams, before the match started, she mentioned how she was like studying Ryan's film. She was out there. She had something to prove. She wanted this bad.
Oh, I ran her film back like 5 times last night. So I'm locked in, man. I'm locked in.
Actually, a lot of people wanted this bad, and a lot of the competition, a lot of the competitiveness came out. Skylar was competitive. Everybody was just so hyped up, and I think this $200,000 prize is really what people are vying for. But Courtney Williams came out and cooked with an 8-0 run, and then Rhyne Howard kind of looking like she was just chilling, hanging out, walking around, does a 9-0 run. And Courtney Williams starts doing the fouls when she's driving to the basket, which I think are I'm just not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of them at all, can't lie. There was a lot of fouling, and you know, in this 1v1 format, the way that it's played, it's a lot more physical, so it was kind of confusing as to what the refs decided were fouls and what the refs decided weren't fouls. But Rhyne Howard was not having any of that because she lost that match. She took to Twitter. She started crashing out, posting all this stuff. Like, when they all play each other, it's nothing but fouls with owl capitalized. These are just things that Rhyne Howard was reposting. The refs dead TF wrong for officiating these games like this. It does seem a bit rigged. It was this moment I knew Courtney was winning. LMFAO. Starting the game like this is crazy. So obviously Rhyne Howard definitely felt a certain way. She really didn't show it too much on the court. She's kind of like cool, like a cucumber when she plays. But, you know, that I got to say, that match was great. It was really fun. It was really tight. It was really close. And Courtney Williams took it home. Now, the Sky and Arike match, I wasn't sure about, but I just knew that Arike was built for this. And if Arike could do what Arike does best, then she would have it. But Skylar is so diabolical and so, like, she plans and she's so schemy and she has such hunger that I thought, you know, she could take it, but I think that this is, you know, Arike was built for this. But they were, you know, on each other, and oh my God, they just were taking brick after brick after brick at first, and it was like, come on, can anybody score something? I didn't know if it would hit 10 minutes. They play till 11, or they play to the highest score of 10 minutes. But then they did start scoring, and Sky runs in with this nasty block. And it went back and forth for a while, like up and down, like Skylar was up, Arike was up, but Arike did end up taking this. The Diggins Carrington Satou Sabally game, now, this one was rough, this one was ugly. I just don't think that they are best in this format. I think that Diggins could be if she worked on her finishing. But I had Satou taking this just because of the height that she has on Diggins. But I also mentioned in my post that I wouldn't be surprised if this was an upset because Diggins is sneaky and she's a little thief with that ball. And she definitely got a few steals. But, you know, this was another brick fest. It was hard to watch. And this was one of the ones that almost went to 10 minutes, but it didn't. Satou Sabally came out with the win. So she moved on to the semifinals. And then we had the ever so famous Aaliyah Edwards up against Alicia Gray. Aaliyah Edwards, wow. I mean, she has just surprised the heck out of me here. And she beat Alicia Gray in the semifinal round, and she actually is in the Final Four. And in the semifinals, Nepheesa Collier had to go up against Courtney Williams, and Courtney Williams, so she wanted it. But, you know, I mean, I really don't know if anybody can go up against Fee and win. I really just don't anymore. Like, is it rigged? I mean, she does own the league. And Satou Sabally went up against Arike, and Satou Sabally, the amount of exhaustion that she actually called a timeout from exhaustion.
Fight. Oh, nice. Timeout. 30-second timeout.
Again, I don't think that she shines in this format. This is like run, run, run. You don't have a moment to stop because when you're not defending, you're running, you're like driving to the basket or you're shooting a three. That is so exhausting on these players. And Satou Sabally was one of the ones that I noticed would get quite exhausted quite quick. So just imagine if she was on the Fever and she was in that like fast-paced transition basketball that Caitlin Clark likes to play. And I actually didn't watch this match because my friend called me, who lives in California and just had a baby, so I kind of had to talk to her. But Ray Burrell, Azure Stevens, I knew what this was going to be, and Azure came out on top. So Nepheesa Collier is in the Final Four. Aaliyah Edwards is in the Final Four. Azure Stevens is in the Final Four. And Arike Ogunbowale, Final Four. And I know a lot of you guys do just watch the recaps. I can validate that a lot of Unrivaled has been really hard to watch. But honestly, I really like these 1v1s, especially when it started whittling down to the better players. I want to get this in the All-Star game. Anyway, just check it out if you have nothing to do. It's on HBO, or you can come back here and I'll recap it for you.